Hey guys, and welcome back to another skill point guide video for Total War Warhammer 3 on Immortal Empires. Today we'll be going over Gor-Rok. I really do like Gor-Rok for the Lizardman. He's probably one of, if not my favorite, Lizardman lords in the game currently. He's just a super tank, and he just barely ever dies. It's really fun to use. So to begin with his skill tree, I do like to grab Root Marcher, but then it's more about coming down his red line, and I like to get Proud Warrior for these Source units because he does buff them a little bit in his special skill line as well. Just giving them a little more armor. I wish that was definitely like plus 15 or something, because plus 6 is basically useless, but I do like the melee attack plus 6 for all Source units in his army there. And on top of it, paired with the Right of Resilience, if we check it out here in the rights, you can give them barrier hit points, immune to contact effects, as well as expert charge defense for Source units. So you can really buff them up quite a bit within Kroq-Gar's army. Now, after going down the red line with Proud Warrior, I do like to come down and actually grab Ancient Cunning back to the blue line and Fervent, just because you're going to be going up against Skrulk quite a bit, and you're going to have loads of corruption in Lustria. You have Nurgle here, you have, I believe, Khorne corruption, you have Vampire corruption to the east, you have Skaven corruption to the south, and pretty much wherever you go, if you push further south, you'll have Siege corruption. You go north, you'll have Slaanesh corruption with Marathi. So I really do like to just get rid of that a little bit with Fervent there. But I really like Ancient Cunning. In Lustria, you're going to have loads of ambush opportunities, so that's why I like to buff that up there. Now, after going down the red line and blue line a little bit, I do like to come down his melee line just a little bit, just until you spend enough points to unlock his special skill line. I don't worry about Indomitable, because later on you'll see with Unflinching, once he goes below 50% of his base hit points, he becomes unbreakable, so that's just kind of redundant. You don't need Indomitable with Kroq-Gar. So I do like to grab Blade Master and Enforcer of Order. The weapon strength plus 5 is permanent, plus you're going to be fighting basically against all of these factions at all times in your campaign, so that extra 10% will almost always be applied in your campaign there. Now, after this though, you should unlock his special skill line, so I'd like to grab everything down here. Giving him more melee defense and spell resistance is really good. Protector of Lustria will give your Source units more melee defense and physical resistance, which is really handy. Unflinching is what I just mentioned, where you'll get more melee attack and leadership, and the leadership plus 6 is redundant because it makes him unbreakable, but makes him unbreakable and he gets more melee attack, so he becomes really tanky there. Mighty Opponent gives him more melee attack, and the Great White Lizard, love it, regeneration, battle healing cap. Basically, he becomes almost impossible to kill. If not, it's going to take him a very, very long time. You're going to be able to get more items for more physical resistance. You're going to get him more ward save. He's literally going to fight to the death. Very powerful legendary lord in terms of melee, because he's going to be able to hold that line for you indefinitely there. So I really like to grab everything down his special skill line. Now, depending on what you want for units later on in your campaign will kind of dictate what you spend on with the remaining points. Now, I like to personally grab him more missile resistance and protection of the old ones for more spell resistance and missile resistance again, just to make him tankier, because he's probably going to get picked on with Spirit Leech quite a bit in your campaigns. He has in mine anyway, so I do like to make him more resilient there. Also, Honored Elder, always a great thing to grab. More word save for him, upkeep cost a little bit for Source units and Temple Guard, but the control plus 1 all provinces, really good bonus effect faction wide. I really like that Lizardmen have that little thing. I wish more factions had something like this, where over time more lords will be able to get that and help offset the public order problems that you may encounter in your campaign. Now, moving forward, I do like to grab Beast Driver. Now, the reason being to make your, dinosaurs more powerful, but also pairing that with Beast Driver with the Blessing of Itzel, reducing their upkeep cost, giving them more leadership. His trait, the Protector of Itza, also gives his army more unit mass and missile resistance. So it's going to make your dinos hit even harder because they're going to have more mass, and also be able to protect themselves from more missile fire because of the extra missile resistance there. Going down the rest of his red line, I do like to grab more armor, leadership, and charge bonus again for his dinos, and then standing your ground, because why not make him even tankier with more melee defense and leadership for the other units around you for a limited time. Now after that though, I do like to come and go down the rest of his melee line, just making him as tanky as possible. I mean, these are pretty absurd stats. If I come out, just pop out here, these are his base stats. He doesn't base stats after you spend those points. He hasn't even gotten any of his items yet where he'll get more armor, more physical resistance. You can give him more armor via the ability with the shield, giving him more melee attack, armor piercing, and base weapon damage as well for 24 seconds. He just is an absolute beast. No pun intended, considering he's a dinosaur, but the only thing he's really missing is magical attack, but there are ways you can get that via items and whatnot. Now the remaining points, I do like to come down and finish his blue line. Can't really go wrong with Lizardmen. You have loads of melee infantry, so the ambush defense chance, if you get ambushed, it's not that big of a deal because you don't have missile units that you need to get set up or anything like that. So personally, I just like to grab the Gifts of the Jungle for some casualty replenishment rate, but then just to do the Geomantic Sustenance for the upkeep cost, and then grabbing Renowned and Feared for some more campaign movement range and further upkeep cost reduction. Because the Lizardmen, they don't have a great economy. It's kind of average, but getting some upkeep cost reduction can just help solidify that economy there a little more. And then the last 3 points, I just like to put into Mentor. Just that way he's sharing some of that experience with other lords when he has capped or reached his max level of 50 there. Now I went through that pretty quickly. I know that was a lot to go through in a very short time, and I know again that's not going to be everybody's choice, but let me know definitely down in the comments what you guys think, how you level him up, if there's anything you do differently. I know the blessings that you can pick are very random depending on your situation. It's not always the blessing of Itzel is not necessarily always the right one to do, and right is very subjective, because what is right for myself is not going to be right for somebody else. Because I know, especially in Gor-Rok's situation, unless you're with all the types of corruption and evil entities and factions that he's going to be fighting, I very well could have done the blessing of Zlakotl or Tazlakotl, however you pronounce that, for the control, replenishment, and corruption in a province, or even the buffing his army a little more with some speed, spell resistance. You can't really go wrong with these. It kind of just depends on the player, what they personally value more than others. But definitely, again, down in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you level them up, if there's anything that you would change. Always, again, interested to hear what you guys have to say and think regarding a legendary lord. But other than that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already, and turn on that bell icon so you'll be notified when I go live or upload any more videos to the channel. And until the next video or live stream, hope you guys have a good one, and until then, see you later. Bye.